right, what's up, guys? This is Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post, SCMP Martial Arts. Over there on the other side of the screen is a man who doesn't really need an introduction, the champ himself, Reinier de Ridder. RDR, what's up, man? You got a big fight coming up. How's life?
Very good, man. Life is very good. Life here back home is good. Kids are doing well, growing hard. My girl is in school now. My boy is getting big and strong. The businesses are doing well. I'm in great shape. I'm really seeing progress in all aspects of my game. Man, another great opportunity to face a worthy challenger. Another champ on the hit list. So can't complain. Can't complain right now.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad to hear everybody's happy and healthy. Big fight on the horizon, as you suggested, fighting Anatoly Malykhin in December. You're defending your title against him. You were supposed to defend your middleweight title for a little while there. It was announced, then it fell through. How long after that fight fell through did this start kind of percolating, this fight?
No, this is pretty recent. So this only happened like I think I signed somewhere last week. So this is pretty recent. Yeah, it took a little while to put this together. I think they were aiming at making Malykhin versus Bhullar first,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure what the situation is there. Bhullar has been out for how long now? Like 1.5 years. So he's I'm not sure what they're up to there.
Right. You've been calling for a heavyweight title shot for a long time, and then instead, Malakhin's coming down to you. It's the same matchup, but at a different weight class. Is this as satisfying as a heavyweight title shot? I mean, how does this stack up to your original expectations?
Yeah, I'm alright with that, man. So after this, I'll beaten the welterweight champ, the middleweight champ, the light heavyweight champ, the heavyweight champ. And I'm good, man. still
Right.
still the same. It's the same guy. It's the same fight. I have enough belts already, man. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where do you keep all your belts in your house?
All in the gym, man. I
Okay,
show
right.
off a bit.
Cool, cool. That's a good place for them. And I guess if you beat Malakhin at light heavyweight, that makes your case for a heavyweight title shot fairly strong, right?
Yeah, but who knows what happens to Bular, man?
Mhm.
I'm done chasing that. He is not. He's not available. He doesn't want to fight or whatever. He's
Mhm.
not relevant at the moment.
Mhm. I want to circle back to him in a moment, but just chat about Malakit a bit first. He's obviously a big guy coming down to a weight class we haven't seen him in one before. We've seen some weigh-in drama lately in one championship. It's of course a little bit of a complicated weight cutting system in one. Are you worried at all that he's going to have weight issues and potentially not get down to that weight limit?
No, that's not something I put any energy in. It's not something that I dirty my mind with. I don't care. Whatever weight he shows up, I'll finish him regardless. It's the same thing with his friend Big Dash. He struggled to make weight. I think he missed like 6 times or whatever before finally making the weight. I don't get distracted by this stuff. It does not matter to me. Let him come
Mhm.
in 20 pounds heavy. I'll still finish him.
I guess if he comes in 20 pounds heavier, you could start making demands for his title at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's a win-win. It
Right.
doesn't matter to me. It's all good.
Right. Well, he's a great opponent, great fighter, as we know. He's a wrestler and a boxer. That's kind of what he's known for. Let's
Yeah.
start with the wrestling. You're a grappler through and through. You have some of the best grappling in MMA. How do you stack up with this guy on the ground?
His ground game is not really there. His jiu-jitsu game is not it's not evolved at all as far as I've seen in fights. I'm not sure training wise if he spends a lot of time on the floor. Um, he doesn't pass guard. He only gets a takedown, stays in full guard, and then tries to pound the guy out, which he's been pretty successful at. So I'm not being too critical there. His wrestling is very strong, uh, pretty basic, shoots heavy doubles. We haven't really seen him getting backed up recently, so he mostly comes forward. And I think this is where the fight will happen. The first win will be there.
Hmm.
Me pressing him down, me stalking him, and then finally taking him down, putting him on his back.
We know you have great takedowns, great top control, great chokes, great submissions, the whole gamut. But
Yeah.
do you think there's a possibility he'll be able to take you down just as a bigger guy who specializes in takedowns? And if so, how do you feel about being on your back underneath him?
It'd be nice to be to get taken down for once, man. To let somebody else do the heavy work, but no, I don't think he's looking at a takedown in this fight.
So we'll see you smiling if he takes you down, right?
Yeah, be cool.
Okay. All right. And then How about the striking? I mean, we know he's got huge power. People talk a lot about his boxing and the way he's sort of improved that side of his game. How do you feel about a potential kickboxing match with this guy if the takedowns don't materialize?
Yeah, the takedowns will, but he's a good boxer, but he's not the most technical, to be honest. Right? He just throws looping shots, looping wild right hand. Sometimes a little bit of a tighter right hand, and then left hook behind it. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. But with the right preparation, I don't feel any worry there.
He's not a huge combo puncher from what I've seen. I mean, so you kind of feel like you just need to avoid these big single shots that are coming your way for the most part.
No, I'm gonna pressure him. I'm gonna get close. I'm gonna make this a dirty fight.
hmm And then, in terms of your striking, you're so good at grappling that people often kind of ignore that side of your game. But fight to fight, it's improving a lot. We can see the improvements you're making.
Thank you.
Do you feel like people are forgetting that side of your game? And are you excited maybe about showing that off a bit in this one?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Cool, man. Cool. Well, you guys have exchanged a few words over the last couple of months. As you were kind of looking to get yourself that heavyweight title shot. You got to talk a little trash sometimes, right? But
Yeah.
more recently, it seems like there's some mutual respect between you. I saw on Instagram he called you both worthy men or something like that. Is that the case? This is a competitive thing. Not there's no bad blood here.
There's no bad blood, but he's a fun guy to mix it up a bit with. The last two guys, their English wasn't too good anyway, and they were not really. How do you say this? Like personality. They don't really have a lot of personality, but this guy might be fun to have some fun with.
Mm. Right, right. I mean, that was one of the things I thought when I first saw this matchup. I mean,
Yeah.
you've proven that you have a fun personality. You're not afraid of talking a little trash, And Malykhin clearly is a bit of a funny guy too.
Yeah.
You're anticipating some fun build up to this one.
Yeah, I hope so, man. It'd be nice to enjoy it a bit. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, as I said, there seems to be some mutual respect between you two. Bhullar, maybe not the case. It seems like you guys are, in fact, maybe even united by your by your disappointment in Bhullar. This is the one thing you have in common. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, maybe, man. The when did I should Google this. I was been thinking of googling this, but when did Bular?
It was May 2021, I think, his last fight when he beat Brennan Vera.
Yeah, so that's almost 1.5 years ago, man. And he keeps talking, but I never see any action from this guy, and he's not. He's just irrelevant at the moment. It was fun
Mhm.
at the in the beginning. It was fun to talk some smack about him and whatever, but it's just he's not there. So who knows? Who knows what he's up to?
He had, a very promising beginning to his career in one. He won his debut and then won the title, and there's this connection to India, and it just seemed like this was a really great spot for him. And then one thing led to another, and we haven't seen him fight in forever. Are you, as a fan, sort of disappointed in the way his career in one has gone?
Um, that's a good question. Nah, not really. To be to be frank, he didn't really. He beat Brendan Vera, of course, which is a good fight, but Brendan Vera was pretty old already. Not any disrespect to Brandon, but he was far out of his prime. It wasn't a great win by any stretch of the imagination. I think he still had a lot to prove, and he just missed the opportunity. He never
hmm
really proved anything yet. So it's just
hmm
being hard. It's just being hard to yeah to get anything done with. So I guess
Fair
that's it.
enough.
That's
Fair
that's
enough.
his legacy after this.
hmm One more question about him before we move on to other things. I know you don't want to spend all afternoon talking about Arjan Bhullar, but
I don't mind. I don't mind.
he has been out for a long time, as we said. There's been some injuries. He's getting up there. I think he's 36, 37, somewhere in there. How do you expect he'll look? If he does ever return to the circle, how do you think he'll look after such a long layoff?
He never really looked that great, to be honest. So we'll see.
All right, man. All right. Well, back to Malykhin, back to this big fight you've got on your hands, light heavyweight title defense. Cool that it's happening in Manila, right?
Yeah. So it's a bit of a full circle thing. This is because my first fight for one was in Manila, so it'll
Mhm.
be very cool to be back there.
And it's a cool way to connect with these Filipino fans who've kind of gone without a big MMA show for years at this point, right?
Yeah, definitely, very cool.
I think probably when they were building this card, a lot of people were expecting to see a Filipino fighter in the main event. Do you feel like you kind of got to step up and really give these people a special show since maybe,
Of course, I always do. I always do. I always bring it to the max. I always give everything I have, and this one will not be any different. There's a lot of other good fights on there, I believe. I think Ang is fighting as well, right? Is
He's
that
fighting in
true?
November, yeah, on the Singapore card.
Oh, in November. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought he was fighting in December as well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the middleweight division a bit. You had the title defense against Shamil, as we all know, and then that fell through. What's next for you in the middleweight division when you go back down there? Do you think that fight is possible still?
I don't think so. What I've heard from now behind the scenes, I don't think this guy is on the radar at the moment.
Hmm.
Stylistically, it would be an interesting fight. He's as he is a good wrestler, so it'll be for me it would be a cool one. But to be honest, he hasn't really proven a lot yet. So I will see. We'll see. I don't really like to look ahead too much after behind this fight.
Hmm. Um, well, you know, you mentioned he hasn't proven much in one. When that fight was announced, there was a little bit of pushback just because it
Yeah.
was his debut. As the champion, how do you feel about defending your title against people who are debuting in the promotion?
Well, um, yeah, it doesn't really feel too fair because I worked my way up there. I did what I had to do to get a title shot and to get in this position. But on the other hand, I'm happy to fight whoever. It doesn't really matter too much. This will be my third fight this year, and well, I would have taken 4 or 5 or 6 as well. So it's it's a bit double.
Hmm. You have been very busy this year, and in the past, when I've spoken to you, and when you've done interviews, you know, further back in your one career, you've kind of expressed a little bit of frustration that not fighting quite enough. You want it to be a little bit more active. Are you satisfied with the schedule they've been able to keep for you this year?
Yeah, yeah, it's all
Nice.
right. One more would have been nice, but it's good this way. Yeah.
You're an ambitious guy, but I mean, what's like a realistic number of fights you'd like to have year to year?
Well, if they end like if they happen like they've happened thus far, they give me one every month, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess if you go in
I
there, you
can
don't take
just
any
come
punishment,
in,
right?
choke them out, head back home, and be I can keep going. But like realistic, maybe four a
Mhm.
year would be great. Like every 3 months. Yeah.
And now that they've got this Prime deal, there's more shows. You know, they have to find main events for a lot of these cards. You're a big name in the promotion. Are you optimistic that you're going to be fighting a little bit more often now?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
How do you feel about fighting on Prime? It's a big platform, kind of cool way to introduce yourself to the US fans.
Yeah, definitely. It's very cool.
Mhm,
I'm happy that they got this deal done. I hear they're busy doing some deals for Europe as well for my home fans. It'd be nice because now they'll have to do some difficult stuff to be able to watch Amazon,
mhm.
maybe with some VPN and stuff. So I'm happy that they're making steps, that they're growing, and yeah, we'll see.
You mentioned Dongla, your old friend, a few moments ago. He's fighting Yushin Okami on November 19th
Yeah,
in
man, cool
Singapore.
fight.
That's the date. Yeah, what do you think of that one?
It's a great fight, man. Could go either way. It's a great fight for the position they both are in their careers. And well, for me, it'd be nice if Okami wins.
Hmm. You believe he could be like a potential title challenger if he wins this
Yeah,
one?
if he beats Ang in emphatic fashion, why not?
Hmm. And
Judo guys going at it.
yeah, yeah, he's got a great style. He's been around the block forever. I mean, I think he had 21 fights in the UFC. I had to write an article the other day about him, so that stat is still in my head. But I mean, he's been around forever. Is that kind of a fun opponent for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Cool, man. Well, how do you see that one going? And you said it could go either way. Any specific prediction?
It's always hard with Ang because he has the great equalizer.
Hmm.
If he hits you with a good shot, he can put everybody's lights out. Um, and I like Ang a lot, so um, I'd be happy if he wins as well. But for
Hmm.
me, it'd be nice if Okami wins.
Hmm. I interviewed Ong just a few days ago, and he mentioned that you know he still believes he has another run in him. He recognizes that he probably has quite a bit of work to do to get another title shot in either weight class, but he's still optimistic that he can make it to another title shot as the champion. Is that something you can envision?
And not against me, man. Two is enough. Two is more than enough. It's
Fair
over.
enough.
This
Fair
is
enough, man.
blind.
Cool, cool. Well, let's wrap this thing up. If you win this fight with Malykhin, I mean, what do you want to happen next year? What does 2023 look like for you?
It's still all up in the air right now. There's some stuff behind the scenes, of course, coming up after this. But man, I'll be the king of three weight classes. So give me whoever.
Hmm.
Line
And
them up.
To be very clear, even though Malakhin's coming down to you, you still wanna go up and take that heavyweight title at some point?
No, it's if I this is the fight right now. I'm fully focused on this one. The only thing I want is to destroy this guy. Is the next guy to deserve it? Um, and when I do, I'll be very content with that. It would feel the same if it's at heavyweight or at light heavyweight. It's just the guy in front of me. It's the style he brings, the danger he brings. That's what interests me.
Mhm.
Not the weight class. I don't care how much he weighs. Show up 10 kilos heavy. It's also fine. Um, um, I don't mind. But once I beat him, then maybe Bhullar is finally ready to go.
Well, you got some options ahead. That's very exciting, right?
Yeah.
Cool,
That's
cool. Well,
there's still a lot of options,
mhm,
and then
mhm.
hopefully they can build some new prospects in middle and light heavy. There's a lot of fun fights at heavyweight too, man.
Mhm, no kidding, man, no kidding. Well, let's conclude with this. You say you wanna destroy Anatoly Malykhin, in December. How are you gonna do it?
So I've said this in the previous interview as well. So I got his friend took me like half a round, so I'll give him a full round at the end of the first.
That's very generous of you.
Yes.